What's up? alexy1 here playing Serzhik. Sergei Zhigalko. Oh, Sergei Zhigalko. Okay. Um, and we get the Yanish gambit. Well, it's not really a gambit, but it's a fun opening. But I've played this guy a bunch of times now, and I'm guessing he knows that he should take on a7 here, and then play f4. To be honest, maybe he plays knight b5 here. I somewhat remember that he plays that, yeah. I think I should castle then. Okay. But what now? So he's gonna go d3 or d4. Yeah, I seem to remember I've played this against him. Oh, I'll just do it. Because if he goes d4, I can take on d3. Because f1 is hanging at the end, so... Yeah, and now... maybe queen h5? I think queen h5 is fine. Okay, so we can take on f2 now, which I'm guessing we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm not really sure about this all, but yeah. I mean, this should be a good development for me, taking this knight. He can take a pawn here, but I doubt that it's... Well, because it opens up my g-file for my attack, so... I think that should be in my favor. So what happens if I take it? Probably bishop g5 and rook c1, yeah? Yeah, that's annoying. So now if he takes g7 again, I can just put my rook on the g-file and have some pressure. I still think white should be better here, since he's up a pawn. Because this knight a7 variation is kind of the reason why this opening isn't really the best in the world. I think he's gonna play rook f1. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna take, I presume. Okay, so now I have to watch out for the queen coming into a7, but I don't see the real threat here. I mean, I can take here, and if queen a7, there's not really a threat. The rook can't come to f7. Okay, so rook c1 still, but now there's no threat on c7. Because when the queen was on g3, there was a mate threat, but now there's not. So, so now that we're not down a pawn anymore, we're doing somewhat better. I think this should... Well, it's definitely still better for white, but... let's put my rook... Oh! Queen d6 is coming. I wanted to put my rook on e8 here, queen d6, and then queen b6 probably, yeah. Queen d6 is, I guess, the only move. And I was planning to go c5 here, just trying to trade off. But it loses a pawn, but if I don't do it, then rook d1 probably comes. I don't know. If he goes rook d1 now, I have rook d8. So... I'm threatening to go c5 here, I guess. Still, the ending when he trades off is somewhat better for him, but it's not as bad as it seems, I guess. We're up on time though, that's nice. So I'm guessing I'm gonna try and flag. Oh, and that's annoying. Rook d6 is coming. I'm just gonna try and trade off as many pieces as possible. Yeah, I'll take the draw though. Oops, I thought he... Okay. Well, yeah, we're doing okay now. Up on time as well. Ooh, oh, I spoke too soon. Let's run away. Run away. I'm just gonna run for my life. Okay, so I can take, but then rook comes in. There maybe? Huh. Okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna lose a queen here, but we're up on time here. Oh no, we're not. It's just even on time. Oh, that's made in one. Okay, so unlucky. We didn't get the win there. I think we held off quite easily. Well, not easily, but we held off. So let's have a look. Yeah, this knight takes a7 is pretty annoying. Bishop d7. This used to be the main idea, and then one of the tricks here, which is pretty fun and nice, is queen takes e4, which seems very logical. But then you can go. Wait, let me just put. Yeah, so you don't see it coming. You can go king d8, and then if he takes here, we can take here. And this is pretty sick, because now you take on g2, and the queen here is surprisingly good. It's attacking this rook, so he has to go rook f1, and it's also defending the a8 square. So now bishop c5 is good, and the queen is attacked, and rook e8 is coming, and it's just done. So I did win a few games like that. Problem is though, f4 here is really good. Yeah, I think theory suggests queen c5, if I'm correct. And then knight b5, yeah, and then takes in d4. Check, oh, check, and then king f2. Oh, f1. And this is horrible for black. This is the best you can do here, but yeah, you're just down a pawn and you don't have any compensation, so this is just bad. This knight b5, it's not that good. I think I should castle here, but the engine says queen takes g2, which might be better. But so taking on c7 is out of the question, since this is just good for us. This knight is never coming out, and then we're just gonna be up material. So rook f1 probably, and then we can castle. Yeah, that's probably better. Queen f1 takes, and then castle again. Yeah, okay, so for the next time we're gonna take on g2. It's good for me to learn such a thing, cause now white is definitely better. He's up 2 pawns here, and I have had this position a bunch of times. So yeah, I might fall into the trap still. Well, the trap, just a mistake, I guess. d4 takes, and now queen h5. And I think he went queen g3 here, which is, I think that's not the best. The engine says it's fine. Okay, so we have to take on f2, take on b5. He could still take on g7. In a practical game though, it's not really appealing to open up this g file, since, well, in a Blitzgame you can just easily get mated on g2, for instance. Just, I mean, it's not really, when you're up a pawn and you have the bishop and you just have the better position, it's just unnecessary to take such a pawn. So I like this move a lot, since if I take, I think bishop g5 is the idea. And then if my rook moves, For instance, rook e8, then rook c1 just wins. Yeah. Is there any way? Because the engine said knight f6, but what is the idea here? So rook c1 and then what? Ah, queen f7 probably. Yeah. Well, I doubt that this is good. For one, you can just take here probably. Oh, you can't. Oh yeah, because of the rook g8 at the end. So you can't take here because you have rook g8. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I like queen c6 better. Just putting more pressure on this g2, and he's not gonna take on g7 now, I think. I really still can, but yeah, and all of a sudden we're doing quite okay. We can take the c pawn now. And at first I was worried about a move like this, but yeah, we can even go queen c5 here. Rook f7 is no threat. Also, queen a8 is not really a threat because we still can put our knight in between the to defend against the check. So, but if queen c5 works, yeah, it's definitely good as well. The knight here is pretty good, attacking this bishop, defending all the key pawns, and yeah. So okay, he went rook c1, which I didn't see coming, but which is strange because in the variation before I did see it. I think queen b5 is also a good move. We can take this pawn maybe, but there's so much pressure here. Queen e4, the engine says. I like bishop f4 better, I think. Yeah. And now queen d4. It's just like in the game, but in the game I have some extra options of defending. Because we can sometimes go queen b6, and now if we go queen b6, you can just take and take on c7. Or maybe even take on c7 immediately. Yeah, it's even better. Much better, actually. So c6 is key. Then queen d2. It's somewhat like in the game. Queen d4 though, I don't know why that's bad. Oh yeah, because of the queen b6. Yeah. Because then we're just gonna trade queens and we're gonna have a drawn ending probably. Hopefully. This might have been wrong. Rook f7, f8. What's the point? Check, king. You just go rook f6, that's the point. Yeah, I like the idea of putting my rook on the open file, but yeah, and at first I wanted to go c5, but it just loses a pawn. I don't know why the engine... he must have had something at the game. I don't know. Because this ending should be pretty bad. The rook can come in. And although we're threatening mate, there's nothing really going on. What did he have? Just h3? Point being, if I do something silly like h5, queen a3 is the idea. That's pretty weird. I don't understand these computer suggestions at all. Rook d1 is by far the more natural move. There should be some point. I don't know. Rook d8, h3, which I somewhat like, just to make some air, get some space. But maybe, no, c5 is I guess the only idea here. Because we're somewhat stalemated, we can't really move this, we can't move this, we can't move this. c5 is the only option. And well, you can take here and have a much better ending. I can't really go king b7 because then I would be in a pin that I can't really break. I can't move my knight, I can't move my rook, and also I can't put my king on c7. So I should go something like rook f8, trying to get to f6, but he can just take this pawn, and if I go to b7 he has this check. Oh, which is still somewhat, well, yeah, it's still somewhat okay. If he takes here we have rook f2, and then, yeah, this ending should still be winning for white, I guess. I don't know, taking here seems to be very good. He went back, and I was hoping for a draw here, but then he went to e3, and I thought he went to e4, so that sucks. Now I can take on b2 it seems, but I don't. Maybe he can go rook d3 or something and then put his rook on b3? Yeah. d3. Trying to get to either c3 or b3. This is pretty hard to defend against as well. Yeah, I thought rook d6 would win here. I think I even said so during the game. Because this pin would still be very annoying, this queen d2, and I had to break it. Long term you're just gonna lose. Instead he went bishop g3, which now it's obvious he's trying to go queen f4, but I didn't see it coming. I thought, what? What's this doing? It's doing nothing. So we have to go knight f6 here. You can take, but then the ending is, we're not really getting mated anymore. So we're still in a worse ending, but it's holdable. I went knight f6, I forgot about it already. And now we went queen d5, which is a bad move. We need to keep our queen here. We need to put our rook somewhere, maybe rook d4. No, queen e7 then. Knight e4, yeah. I mean, it's just one threat, it's not really an idea. But, yeah, and then g5, just to keep this queen off of f4. It's an idea, but it seems to be... Well, maybe it's holding, I don't know. It feels like it shouldn't be holding, though. If you rook e1, though, we can go rook e8, which is nice. The engine likes b4, which is a pretty nice move. If we take rook c1... Well, if we take rook c1, we have knight c3, yeah? What happens? Just rook e1. Yeah, but then rook e8. I don't know. These engine suggestions are so strange to me. I don't know. Knight e4 though is a nice move. Now it's horrible, I guess. And here, from here on out, we were just running away, but it shouldn't be anything. I was planning to go to e8 here, but he can just take on g7 and it's lost. Knight d7 and then check. Oh, we have a nice mate here. I hope you can spot it. So king e7. It's a mate in 2. Oh yeah, it's just right there. Wait, let me put this off. So it's like a training exercise here. Mate in 2. Well, you could go bishop h4, winning almost immediately, but it's always better to mate if it's possible. I mean, this should mate in like 6 or something, I don't know. But the key move here is this. And queen f7, which is pretty sweet. Let's see what this is. Well, mate in 7. Anyways, yeah, from here on out it was pretty bad. Rook e1, trying to keep the king off of the e-file. Yeah, and this a5 is hard to defend against. I could go queen c7, but then he's just gonna take the rook. And so I was trying to get some practical chances by just running in the open, but this just fails horribly. And now it's just nothing. Nice mate 10 did as well. So this guy played a pretty good game. It was a fun game, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.